Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richie Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is Sunday, and boy, the community is hot right now. So instead of just punching Wizard101 down because it's super easy to do, decided to do something different and kind of talk about some of the positives that I personally actually like about this entire update in general. So yeah, get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be a long video, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so over here, Magic Weaving Labor Quest requirement decreased to 2. This might sound like a boring one to a lot of players just because Magic Weaving kind of launched in kind of a poor state. Not a lot of people are really doing it as much, but this is definitely like a +1 for like a lot of people, well, including people that are trying to go for the Omnimancer badge and all that stuff. But it helps speed up the process of ranking up, the ranks, right? Sadly, with Magic Weaving, you do have to do a bunch of chores, like defeating a boss a couple of times, or defeating a mob, or fishing. So with that being decreased to 2, now you only have to choose basically 2 of those quests to do and complete, get the badges for that, and then you'll basically rank up in your Magic Weaving. So that's actually really good for the most part, and it just adds more variation for players to kind of see like which quests they want to do, if they want to go fishing or if they want to do the defeat quests. It's kind of up to them on what they want to do. But my main hope is that hopefully it just encourages more people to try out Magic Weaving. If you're still confused about Magic Weaving, you unlock it around level 50 or when you complete Dragonspire pretty much, and it's basically where you can get some nice cool dual schooling type of spells. Some of the spells you might not use, but the dual blades in particular are really good to have, especially if you're trying to do a lot of damage. But here is Richard's feedback, which it's me, I'm Richard. For the Omnimancer badge, I think it would be cool if they provided some sort of unique reward for wizards who have accomplished getting at least rank 5 weaving for all of the weaving trees, right? Except your own school, right? And this might further increase players' interest in the Magic Weaving overall. And the reward can be something super generic, like 1 singular gold key, or even 1 singular spell mint, or even something cooler like a unique gear set. Hint, hint, wink, wink. That would be really cool if that was like a bad reward, right? Now, I don't have the badge myself, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't give any badge rewards, at least from my knowledge. But it would be cool to kind of see like maybe a cool gear set that might encourage players to get interested in Magic Weaving, not only for the badge and the gear set, but also just to get some really cool spells and just get access to some pretty cool stuff. But that is one of the things that I personally like about this update. Thank goodness I do not have to go fishing anymore, because I really do not like fishing whatsoever in this game. I really do not, right? And now we go into number 2, which is actually something that has been kind of hidden within this update, but it's probably one of the best features we've had in a very long time. But you can basically reconnect after your wizard disconnects. So like if you get disconnected for inactivity, you have to quit basically the full game and re-log in. It's a whole process. Well, now you'll actually be able to reconnect to the game with a reconnect button, which is actually really cool. So you finally reconnect to the game by loading up, you'll be back in the character screen, and basically just boot it back up and you'll be set to go. Yeah, previously you just had to close the whole application, right? And this helps with keeping the gameplay flow a little bit smoother without having to just re-log in. You probably don't even have to use a quick launcher anymore because I can just reconnect whenever I want. But my feedback for this is I hope so, and I hope this becomes a feature eventually. But I think it would be interesting for this reconnect feature to go a little bit further. Let's say that you're inside a raid and maybe your internet hiccups, which I have had that happen a lot of times before, and sadly I have to log out and then I have to log back in, and then my character is poof, gone away. It would be cool to see us maybe be able to reconnect in a raid or a battle, a dungeon, or other kind of zones in the game to kind of get back in the fight. At the moment, when you do that though, especially for raids, your character will just kind of go away. I still have to do a little bit of testing just to see the boundaries of like where your character would reconnect. But from my knowledge and at least all the years of playing this game, whenever that happens to me, I'm always back in the commons, and it just sucks because then we got to restart the raid run, and it's just a big process. It would be cool to kind of see how far that reconnect feature could go and see, you know, the more benefits of it besides just being disconnected for inactivity, right? And now, speaking of inactivity, probably another part of this update that's probably one of the W updates is Idle Wizards, an AFK mode for everyone to utilize. I can actually show you on the screen right now. It will be in gameplay options 4. And, well, not gameplay options 4. That's for the language stuff that we'll be talking about later. But if you just go down here, you'll see a button called Idle. So when you click it, you're basically idle. And that's pretty much it. It will play a random little emoji, or not emoji, but a random emote that's in your little victory wheel or something like that. It is a little buggy though. I have heard of some people that like apparently have the defeat animation. I don't know why. But yeah, this is pretty cool though. It's a pretty cute little feature. You know, if you push like the W keys or, you know, the mouse keys, you'll get out of idle mode. But yeah, this is a really cool feature. No more spinning, which I know everybody loves spinning. I understand that. But, you know, you don't have to spin anymore, right? You can just dance forever and ever and ever and ever. And obviously there could be a lot of improvements to this, but let me read the notes. But, you know, hopefully this will help manage the little server and cause less lag for other players, I guess. Won't require you to spin anymore, although that is subjective for everyone. My main feedback for this is that I think there could be a little bit more clarity to kind of learn if a player is truly AFK or if they're just in a really happy mood and just playing like a random emote, right? You know, spinning was a clear indication to the community that a player was AFK, but maybe put like a floating text around the player that says like AFK or something like that, maybe above their head, or maybe even have like custom live statuses on your friends list indicating if you're busy or you don't want to be bothered. And yes, you could theoretically appear offline to your friends. That's what I'm doing right now, but I still think that this could go even farther to kind of help the community out, to better be efficient with the whole AFK model. Now, ironically, this was a really it is a controversial feature in this update because it kind of messed around with the whole Control A and some of the other inputs or whatever that is. Basically, you can't spin anymore. I think there was a way to spin, or there is a way to spin, but it's just like it kind of gets to the point where it's like, it's gone forever. But yes, you can't go idle. You don't have to spin anymore, and you will just be there. You know, you'll just be chilling, dancing forever and ever and ever and ever. Just forever and ever. You'll just be dancing to your heart's contempt, man. Just it's kind of funny, actually. It's actually kind of funny. We're actually sticking with that. Alright, let's talk about language switching now. This is the fourth thing I wanted to talk about. Now, this is in gameplay options 4. This one is really cool. However, I do got a little complaints about it though. But this is pretty cool. So you can swap your language from English, French, German, and also Spanish. So that's pretty cool. But here's the thing, right? Well, actually, let me keep talking about it a little bit more. You can customize your guild's name as well in a different language. So this is our Heroic Amaranth Squad. I messed up the end. I know it's supposed to be trope. Yeah, I said Group A. I've been wanting to change it, but it won't let me change it. I think I gotta wait or something like that. But yeah, you can change your guild's name, your own name, which is also pretty cool. You can change at the character select screen, or even when you change your name and gender at the Magic Mirror shop, you can change the language of that name as well. I wonder if you can change the language name to your pet. I gotta try that out after this video. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just a really good way for players to kind of play the game in a diverse way. And honestly, long awaited. I mean, this game is so old. I mean, what? This game came out in 2008. And that's kind of like an option for most games nowadays. But for Wizard101, we finally have that. And it's just really cool. But like I said, there are a little bit of problems concerning the whole language switching situation that I have seen, which kind of furthers the point of, regardless of what you think about the community or these updates, I think we can all agree that these updates just release really unpolished, and it really is sad to see. But anyway, there are multiple crashes, translation errors, interface errors, and apparently also, I have seen photos of it. I'm not going to show it on the screen because I don't want YouTube to kill me, but yeah, there are inappropriate name combinations with those you know, new languages, right? You know, a lot. I'm not gonna say it or give you an example of it. I'm sure you can find it anywhere if you just look hard enough. I'm not gonna show you, but there are a lot of inappropriate combinations, which is actually funny because in this update they also stopped that with some of the other name combinations in English. But it just looks like for the language one in general, there are a lot of questionable name wizards out there. So I'm sure that will definitely be a nice little project for KI to figure out on. Like I said, I'm not going to show them. But yeah, besides the bugs and the inappropriate name combinations being, you know, #1 priority, in my opinion, this is Richard's feedback right here. There are also some ways to improve language support in like the near future. It doesn't have to be right now, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but this is just general stuff for the near future that I could definitely see could be really cool to see in the game. Maybe allow players to buy a name and gender change elixir, name your price. It could be 500,000 crowns if you really want to, like 550,000 crowns, go for it. It's a nice little quick buck for the company because we know that money matters, right? And this also gives players another chance to kind of rename their wizards, especially now that we are getting added language support. It definitely would be cool to kind of see that, because I know in game that they say that you only get like one chance to change your name and gender, and like that's it, you can't change it anymore. But we are getting added language support. It would be cool to kind of see them give players another opportunity to change the name in the language that they desire, or maybe an elixir could do, like I said, name your price. I'm not gonna say the price, name your price. But that would be kind of cool to see them allow that. Maybe they can't allow that. That might mess up the game even more or break it even more. I have no idea, but I just think that would be cool for general players to allow that, or at least have players be able to get that. But in the future, they could also add additional languages too, if possible, right? Obviously, this first batch of languages is a little bit buggy. But it would be kind of cool to see them add different languages, including Japanese. I would definitely love if they added Japanese to the game. That would be really cool. And also speak with the community, kind of work with the community on the whole language translation situation. Maybe create a team of translators if possible, so you can get kind of like accurate language support whenever you're doing these. Because I think there are a lot of errors when you're looking in the language UI. I think there definitely is like a few mobs or maybe some bosses that don't really look like, you know, that's not really what it looks like or whatever. It kind of looks like maybe that's not the correct thing. And obviously, of course, the inappropriate name combinations, though, that gotta go. Because I have seen some stuff. I did. It's not even funny. Like, yeah, they definitely don't want that in your game. I would not recommend that. And then finally, the fifth thing that, which is crazy, I can't believe I'm saying this though, as part of the update that I personally like, but it's the new Mushi raid, which blew me out of surprise. I know, right? And usually I did it on test run, I didn't like it, but I did it on live run, I'm like, this actually isn't too bad, right? So I'll talk about the whole key crafting recipe, right? I'll talk a little bit about that. Actually, let me switch to my life wizard real quick while my storm wizard is stuck eternally. But the way to craft this key is actually a whole lot easier. It is way easier in comparison to the ghastly key. The Mushu mob that you need to defeat is super easy to farm. You only got like 800 health. It's a super easy farm. Like, anybody could do it as long as you do the pre-quest, which was also very easy as well. But the Mushu mob needed is just, again, super easy, and it only takes like 10 animus to actually make the key. So this is the corrupted earth spirit. You see that it only takes 10 to make the animus in comparison to the ghastly raid key, which I believe it took 20, which I really did not like about making that key. That key was not fun. And I don't know why they even made it 20 to begin with. It should just be 10. I mean, I'm pretty sure the other iRobots are 10. They just made this one 20. I guess it's part of the raid. And I'm just like, you know, like, I'm just kind of thinking, like, I don't know. Or maybe they was already at 20 to begin with. But honestly, if it's like a minion or a mob, I feel like it should just be 10 animus, because 20 animus per card, that takes a lot of animus, especially if you're the only one making it the key. So yeah, this Mushu key is definitely a breath of fresh air. For a 3-hour key, it takes like 44 of those cards. And then for the 1.5, it takes 22. I'll let you guys basically do your own little math about that. And another thing I also like, which they always do for the raid, but they don't necessarily mention it in the patch notes, is that when the update does come out, they actually give you a badge reward for the raid. So if you did the previous raid, which is the Ghastly Conspiracy raid, and you defeated Mr. Ghastly 25 times, you actually get a key, which is actually pretty cool. You get a Blighted Veil raid key off the bat. It's a 1.5 hour, which it was a 3-hour, but you get a 1.5 hour key off the rip, which is actually really, really cool. So if you have a guild that has like done that raid a lot of times and you already have that badge, then you can kind of capitalize off of that, and everybody could have like a raid key. That's also like a big W, and I absolutely love that. If you're someone that doesn't like raiding, I completely understand, because your criticism is completely valid. I have complained and moaned about the guild and rating system in this game for a very long time, and it just seems like nothing is really, really budging, and I can see why players are even mad to this day, you know, about the updates and stuff like that. But yeah, the key crafting for this raid is a whole lot easier, and the raid pre-quest was also super easy too. It wasn't too hard or anything. It was easy to follow, just simple, clear, you know, just run around and defeat a few mobs, and that's literally it. It is not that hard, and honestly, the raid itself is pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, the raid itself is pretty fun. It can be a little intricate when you first go into it. It's a little complex, but you get tons of spellments, you get tons of loot. The koi fish are also very cute as well, because they have these little unique item cards, and the robe is also a pretty big upgrade for most schools as well. I can actually show you a little bit of the gear. They're not too bad though. I know for Storm, I don't think Storm got an upgrade. I know Storm Wizards really are desperate of needing some attention. But the gear itself, you know, design-wise, it's like, you know, I do wish there was like some petals or something. Oh boy, there's Kane on a grasshopper. Ew, he's on a grasshopper. Ugh. But they are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can definitely see myself wearing it, right? So this is the life robe, and it gives 36 life damage, 6% pierce, a little bit of resist, and a lot of health, pip chance, critical. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's not too bad of a robe, right? And overall, again, you can get some spellments. The spellments are specifically Arc 1 based, so you might get like Bloodbat and stuff like that. So you might not be interested in that, but still, the raid itself It's actually really fun. It's intricate. It takes time to kind of analyze the guide a little bit and understand kind of what to do. The outside team, from what I understand, actually has no like combat, at least from what I understand. Now, these are the fish that you can get. These are the koi fish, and it comes with a trap. So pretty cool stuff if you need like an item trap. I think the fire koi fish also gave a Pigsy. If you leveled it up. I can't preview like what pet talents it could get. That would actually be a pretty cool idea for an update if you could kind of view like what type of pet cards a pet could give without, you know, having to get it itself. But yeah, the fish are pretty cool, and you can craft the raid pets if you have enough of the raid reagent. It just takes a lot, which we are also going to be talking about as well. Now, going on to the gameplay of the entire raid itself, yeah, I don't know. If you're on the outside team, you might get a little bit bored, but even then, I don't know. I mean, I will say this, since the outside team doesn't really require any, like, you know, stats or anything, because you're just running around doing stuff, that does kind of open the door for a lot of versatility, so you could possibly even have some lower level players in here as well, which is really good. The map toggle button is also great in case you want to look at the map or not. I like that. Now, here is my overall feedback about the raid. I've only done it a couple times, one in live or test realm, then one in live realm. We made more progress, obviously, in live realm, but here are my main thoughts about it, right? We definitely need to stop creating raids that require multiple spells and multiple dual schooling capabilities. I am so tired of trying to level up a pet. I'm over it. Like, I'm already taking my detox from this game. Like, I've already canceled my membership and all that stuff. In 2027, I don't feel like I want to play this game anymore just because of the fiasco that's been boiling up. But dude, can we stop making raids that require so much stuff? And especially with the kiosk change, making raid pets is going to be a whole lot harder now, right? Lots of lag during the raid as well. So if you're someone that's running this on like 2 sticks of RAM, I'm just going to tell you right now, don't do it. Upgrade your RAM, okay? And it's not even that, it's just the map. When you press the map button, for some reason you lose frames. I have no idea. Like, I understand I don't have a gaming PC or anything like that. I have a gaming laptop, but like still, that is just, why? Like, why does it drop frames? That's probably why they have the button in the first place, because it can drop frames. So, in my opinion, if you're doing this raid, please don't toggle that map button, because you'll feel it. It doesn't matter what you have. You will feel it, okay? I felt it when I was live streaming. I was like, yo, what is going on, bro? But when you have the map off, it's perfectly fine. So I don't know if it's just an optimization thing. I don't know if it's just my laptop that just sucks, but I don't know. All my raiders were lagging. So maybe we just suck. Maybe that's it. Maybe my guild just sucks, man. But anyway, going further than that, there are also another part of the complaints I want to talk about. The raid can honestly, in my opinion, be like a 10 to 12 player raid, with a majority of the players being on the outside. Kind of reminds me of like the whole void raid situation, right? But the 8 player raids are still good, right? 8 player raids are still good. They're good for making rosters and all that stuff, but it's really discouraging trying to squeeze people onto these rosters, and then, you know, you always gotta cut someone out. And I think that's what I don't like about these 8 player rosters nowadays, is that you always gotta cut somebody out, and then, you know, you have a good team, you have a good roster, you want to keep running it with the same people over and over again, and it just kind of gets hard trying to play with new players, and that's sad. That's really, really sad. I think what I liked about the 12 player raid so much is that it just kind of had a supported capacity that everybody can get some loot and everybody can win. But 8 players just, I don't know, just missing those 4 extra players. It just, like, you know, as a guild leader, it sucks. Even I myself, like, we had a roster, right? Like a sign up for Friday, and 12 people, including myself, like signed up. But I said to myself, like, you know, I don't want to sign up for it. I'll just back out. I'll let somebody else get some runs in because I'd rather not raid and take the spot out of someone that does want to raid, right? And some people are selfish. Some people really do want to raid. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the 8-player raids. I definitely think that this could have been like a 10 or 12-player raid, but that is a little bit subjective, right? And also, they need to decrease the crafting pet reagent cost to like 999 or anything else, just because 999 plus is the reagent number on the screen, and that's basically like the cap. So you're kind of forced to win that raid and then overflow your backpack of that reagent so that you'll have enough to craft it. It's a really weird, I don't know if it's a design flaw or if it's just intended, but it's kind of weird. And also we discovered that guild visitors can somehow also enter raids. I don't know if this is a bug. I assume this is a bug because it said on the patch notes. Oh my goodness, my family. Oh my god, my family. It's hard to make these videos. But yeah, the patch notes though say that guild visitors cannot go raiding or interact with most of the guild activities. We tested that out in the live realm, and one of our guild visitors couldn't even interact with the crafting benches. I think that should change. Not the crafting benches, but you know, the Azoth crafters and the guild crafters and stuff like that. I think they should let guild visitors be allowed to utilize the guild crafters. But for raiding though, I don't know. We had to reset a run because someone that was part of like a different guild managed to go raiding with us, and we were all confused. We were like, what? But this could somehow like maybe open a path to an interesting idea that maybe KI wants to explore a little bit deeper between raiding between guilds maybe. So I don't know if that's something they would want to look into, you know? But my overall opinion of this update still stands, regardless of what you think about it, or if you just think people are just being toxic or negative. The quality of it is really, really bad because we are getting a lot of bugs. Apparently there's an Aztec quest blocker. You can fix that by like toggling off the classic mode on and off. It's something with the loaded up assets, and Beastman is still bugged, even though they did say that in the patch notes that Beastman was fixed. So Beastman definitely needs to be looked at, and also the fishing benefit being gone, and then the exclusive kiosk situation, the exclusive pet, blah blah blah, all of it. At some point I just get tired of it. I just boot up my PlayStation 5 and I just play something else. It gets to a point, man. It just gets to a point where it gets a little obnoxious. Now, for those of you that are still watching, I have a top 5 brainstorm ideas for the future of Wizard101. These are just general ideas that I have for the game. It's not going to happen. Most of these are probably never going to happen, but these are just kind of general ideas I wanted to throw out. Oh, you guys ready for this first one? I know this will never ever happen in this game because for some reason this game's philosophy about it is very weird. But it would be so cool if they allowed more trading options besides treasure cards. Like, can you imagine if you could go up to one of your friends and maybe give them some gear, gold reagents, or yeah, gold reagents, housing items, even spellments, etc., etc. The possibilities are endless. Can you imagine how cool that would be? That would be really cool if you could trade with other players. And I got that idea from Fusion Fall, which, by the way, you can play Fusion Fall right now. I have a tutorial on how to download that, which should still work, but pretty good game, pretty good community, pretty good devs, everybody. But yeah, dude, Fusion Fall, that gave me an idea, like, why doesn't Wizard101 allow that? And I think the devs mentioned how they're not really, like, at that point of the game yet. Like, they don't feel comfortable allowing that. I think they're kind of figuring out, like, maybe that might be bad, actually, instead of a good idea. But I just personally think that would be really cool. And especially for me, because I have a lot of gear that I genuinely don't need that instead of just leaving it in my gear vault for years and years, I would love to give it out to just like random people. But like, here, you want a robe? Here you go, take it. I don't need it anymore. I'm sure it would have its own limitations of which items could be traded, but it's just an idea, guys. It's just an idea. Some MMOs allow it, and Wizard101 doesn't allow it. So, you know, it's just an idea, right? And here's another idea for number 2. Make the first arc completely free. I think you get a little red hat that says, like, make Wizard101 great again, or make the first arc completely free, or something like that. They used to have, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have those promotions where they made the first arc free for like a limited time, but I don't think they really done that in a while. But it would give it free-to-play players a little bit more content to play on with Wizard101, because right now, once you get to Krampus and you enter that door, that's pretty much it. That's when you gotta start paying money. You can quest in Wizard City, which is a step in the right direction, but after you hit that initial paywall, you either have to buy the areas with crowns, or you either have to get a membership and buy that, or you can play during the free membership periods, or, you know, free membership areas, right? But it just would be pretty interesting to see if they can kind of make the paywall go away, which it probably will never happen because they gotta make money eventually. But I got that idea from just a basic Google search, such as Guild Wars 2, Albion Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, The Lord of the Rings Online, Final Fantasy XIV, blah, 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 blah. All those MMOs seem like they offer a little bit more gameplay time rather than Wizard101. I feel like you can finish Wizard City pretty quickly and hit the paywall pretty fast, and I'm not sure if that's really enough time for players to figure out if they want to keep playing the game or not, right? Now, for number 3, I have a make amends page, right? Make amends with the community and go back and revert the updates in bold. And this can mean a lot of things. There are a lot of things that I think hurt the community a lot that never really had an explanation, but they did. But in a sense, they left it linger too long to the point where people kind of thought that, well, is this a feature or is this a bug? That's kind of how, it's crazy because that's kind of how you have to play Wizard101. You kind of have to go in with the mindset of, you know, not knowing if it's intended or not. And that's why there's so much confusion and frustrations with these updates, because nobody truly knows the main intention. Nobody really knows, like, if this is intended, why is it lasting so long? Why didn't you just patch it out when it first started happening? You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure, as we talk about the exclusive pets being removed from the kiosk, I'm pretty sure they were left in the kiosk for like months, or at least like 6 months plus from what I imagine. And then we have this update that just takes them out, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it's like, that took a long time. Like, why did you let it linger for so long? And I'm pretty sure they said that it was never their intention. They tried to make it a little bit better, but not really. But it would be kind of a good way to make pet training a little bit more digestible, because, you know, it is kind of frustrating leveling up pets or hatching pets and you don't get the pet body. So my advice is to kind of look into, I don't know, just kind of look into some general ideas for pets, including like a pet reroll talent elixir, maybe lower the hatching costs, which, you know, used to happen, but then they increased them for some reason. I have no idea. Was already a thing before. Provide an additional hatching slot. That would be cool. Giving options to players to, when hatching, if they just want the pet body, or if they just want the pet talents for hatching. I think that would be cool. Probably will never happen. Like I said about all these ideas, none of this stuff is probably ever going to happen. I'm just brainstorming, right? I'm sure you guys have awesome ideas too that probably will never happen as well. But that's why we're just brainstorming. We're just brainstorming, man. Bring back the AIDS sticker recipes from Darkmoor. Please bring it back. And I forgot to mention this, but also bring back spellment resets as well, because again, I don't know why they did that. I don't think that the company will go bankrupt if they just bring back spellment resets, but it was a feature that was used for years, but I guess they just decided against it. Look, I don't know. I'm just brainstorming ideas. I don't know. I don't know why they do half of the things, right? And bring back aged Ichor recipes, like I said, from Darkmoor. And never, and I mean this, and I hope for the new world that we're getting soon, they don't do this same mistake they did with the Darkmoor world update, right? They better not do this same mistake they did with the aged Ichor, right? If you're going to make any gear crafting recipes, unless you are 1,000% sure that you won't change it after people have farmed thousands of it for hours and hours and hours, get it right the first time, please. So players do not waste the time. Do not make that same mistake again. Okay? Because literally that dude, I farmed for hours just running around collecting aged Ichor. I used like so many double reagent elixirs and everything, just running around collecting it. And then KI is like, oh, we changed the recipes because it didn't fit the crafting persona. And I'm like, you added the transmute recipe. That was good. That's what the players were asking. So why do you just go backwards? Like, what? Why? Like, why? You had it right there. All you had to do was put the transmute in it. That's all you had to do. And then I think it would also be cool too if they made a way to make create a daily login system, you know? And no, not a daily assignment. That doesn't count. I don't care about the daily assignments. I'm talking about just a way to kind of, you know, encourage people to log in, you know? Maybe you can get spellments, gold, housing items, or even crowns for, you know, logging in. Obviously, KI probably won't be giving out free crowns, but it would be cool to kind of make like a daily login system that might encourage people to log in every day, at least once in a while, just so they can get some nice little, you know, just nice little loot, you know? And it also would be cool if they did like an anniversary for your character. Like if your character was created on a certain date, maybe you can get like a little birthday item or something like that. That'd be cool. But only can be active on a single character per account. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to do it on all your characters. Yeah, like I said, some of these ideas I don't think they have the technology to do, but it's just an idea. We're just brainstorming. And then lastly but not least, the last one, I think this should honestly happen, but I think they should make some of the membership benefits a passive feature in the game, because it could encourage players to maintain their active membership. And this would include stuff like double pet XP, double monstrology and animus, no crafting timers and double reagents, free training point buyback, free second chance chest reroll, double gardening rewards, 0 energy freshening, which has been MIA for like a year now. I'm pretty sure they might retire that. Double scroll of 14 points, daily assignment, member rewards bonus, and all member benefits can be toggled on and off individually for maximum control. I think that would be cool. And if not all of them, I definitely think that the free training point buyback and the second chance chest reroll, that could definitely be something that could be passive. I really don't think that those need a dedicated weekend to figure out. But yeah, overall, it would be kind of cool to see. But those are my general ideas for the game, and those are the top 5 stuff that I think were pretty cool about this update. And like I said, regardless of how you feel about this game, the community, or the devs, or the content creators, or whatever, or the company, right? The quality of these updates have to get better. It doesn't matter if you're on console or PC. Dude, I was honestly surprised at how long the team up kiosk took to get fixed. That was crazy. I was really not expecting it to be that long, man. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you're on console or PC, the game quality has to get better. And when 2027 hits, man, I'm definitely not going to be playing this game anytime soon, especially with all those bangers I just saw on the Xbox game showcase and the PlayStation state of play, and just everything else that's coming out recently. just like any other game looks appetizing than Wizard101. I think the only reason why it has such a grip on us and just people in general is just because of nostalgia, right? And I don't know, it's not really, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, in 2027, I'll definitely be taking a break from this game, and I encourage everybody else to take a break from this game. Check out some of the other game developers that have been making some incredible video games. But let me know what you guys think about Wizard101, the community, Wizard101 console, Wizard101 PC, the game developers, the community managers. Let me know what you guys think about this entire game at all. Do you guys think that this feedback is constructive or not? What do you think? Do you guys think I'm still moaning about it? You guys think I'm still toxic? What do you guys think about it? Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.